Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome everybody to our latest Z to A podcast with myself, Jules, and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello everybody and welcome back.
As always, this is where we pick a letter from the alphabet and discuss a topic from that letter and see how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. So, Mr. Kennedy, what is this episode's letter?
This episode's letter is G for gratitude. Something that we've talked about in previous podcasts, and we're going to focus on why we should practice gratitude and also share some of our gratitudes from the last year as well as we lead up to the end of 2024.
Yes.
Now, I've just been looking at the benefits of why you should practice gratitude, and the first one that I came across on a bit of research is gratitude increases happiness.
Oh, I like that. Gratitude increases happiness. That's a lovely saying.
It is, isn't it? We're pretty happy people, I think. We like to be happy all the time. And let's face it, if you said to people, do you like being miserable? It's probably quite hard to say, yeah, I thrive on being miserable. I think some do. I think some do, yeah. But yeah, gratitude increases happiness and it also increases optimism.
I've just seen something else. Gratitude lifts your attitude.
Gratitude lifts your attitude. That rhymes, doesn't it?
I love that one.
I guess if you're writing in a gratitude journal, you're going to write things that are positive because gratitude is what you're positive about. So that is going to make you a positive, happy, and have a good attitude type person, if that's the right way of explaining it. That sounds like a win-win-win, doesn't it?
Expressing your feelings of gratitude or appreciation, that's another way of saying you're grateful to other people. It will increase your positive emotions and feelings. So, yeah, it is an absolute win-win.
Now, another one that's popped up on research of positive effects of practicing gratitude is, believe it or not, it helps you to sleep better.
We all like a good sleep.
We all like to sleep better. Now, I was trying to work out why would practicing gratitude help you sleep better? But then if you practice gratitude before you go to bed and think, right, what have I achieved today? What have I achieved this week? What's been really good? The best thing I've done today is, what are you going to go to sleep with? Positive thoughts. If you go to sleep with negative thoughts or you start worrying about something, and I've had this before, I've woken up in the night, I've started thinking, oh, I need to do this now. And then that escalates to something else. That escalates to something else. And next thing is you're awake because you're constantly thinking. Pop that round the other side, practicing gratitude. If you wake up in the middle of the night, just think, oh, damn, I'm awake. Start thinking of something positive, start thinking of your goals, start thinking about your gratitudes. That is going to help you drift back off to sleep again, unless it's something really overstimulated and exciting.
Well, that sometimes happens.
Of course.
Equally, researchers say that those that practice gratitude, particularly throughout either the day or when you're preparing to go to bed, apparently that you fall asleep quicker.
That's interesting.
And you actually sleep longer. Now, we all know that sleep is really, really good for you. So practicing gratitude will help you have that better quality sleep than lying there, staying awake, thinking of all the negative things.
I'm also going to pick this benefit, which says gratitude reduces comparison. Now, we live in this world of self-doubt, comparison to others on Instagram feeds or whatever, and also imposter syndrome rears its ugly head all the time. If we live in our own world and we journal what sort of things that we're grateful for, practice gratitude, then we think about what's actually happened in our world, not the world. And if that sort of makes sense to somebody, if you live in your own world, it becomes more controllable. If you live in the world that's expected, it becomes less controllable. So if you practice your own gratitude, you can think about the things that you've achieved, the things that you're grateful for, the things that make you good, the things that make you feel positive. And we're always talking about little things. They don't have to be huge things. Then that is going to reduce the chance of you thinking, well, that person's better than me, that person's better than me, that person's better than me. Give yourself a little bit of love, self-care, self-praise, and self-gratitude.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Mark. So I think when you're thankful for what you have, you're less likely to feel the need to have what other people possess. because you're thankful for what you have. And then you're also thankful for what other people have. So that almost jealousy and comparison goes away.
Yeah, maybe if you're striving or aspiring to be like somebody else, then be grateful that you know, or you can study that person and find out how you can get on that path to being that person as well. Instead of thinking, well, they're better than me, think, well, how can I be as great as them? What can I do? I'm really grateful that I've had a chance to talk to this person, or they're my good friend, or they're in my family, or whoever they are. So we've talked about 3 real benefits of practicing gratitude. But I'd like to talk a little bit personally about some of our Future Toolbox gratitudes and maybe some of our personal ones as well. So we were sitting down and thinking about 2024 is nearly complete, and what have we been grateful for this year?
So many things. Just recently, we were very fortunate to be finalists at the Charity Hero Awards at the Tower of London. And what an amazing day. We've talked about having things perfect, but really there was not much wrong with that day at all. The weather was amazing. The sky was beautifully blue. All the Christmas lights were out in London. It just was an amazing day.
Yeah, walking along the South Bank and seeing all the Christmas markets and seeing people enjoying themselves, happy, taking a little bit of time, because London could be a really busy place and people were just relaxing and just looking around and taking in London. And then, of course, we went to the Tower of London, which is just a magical place. And I think we were actually nearly the last people to leave, weren't we, at the end of the night?
We were.
That was fabulous.
And we went round and we were lucky enough to just get in and see the crown jewels before we left. Yeah. And because it was literally, I think, 20 minutes before it was closing, we were more or less the only people in there, which was lovely.
But yeah, that was a fabulous day, and the memories from that and the people that we met also, fellow finalists and also winners as well, was just awe-inspiring. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
Definitely a day that we're grateful for and we'll talk about for many a year to come, I'm sure.
But a lot of you know, of course, from listening to our podcast, that we're really passionate about what we do at the Future Toolbox. And we were really grateful to team up with West Northampton Council this year to create a programme to help students and young adults who are at the risk of dropping out of education, employment or training. And this was really satisfying, again, because we met some students on a very relaxed basis only a few weeks ago that started the programme. And there were people that were going through a really tough time in their life, youngsters that had a lot of challenges, and actually being able to talk to these youngsters who are now going out and doing something about it. One girl was looking for a job and she was actually walking around to different places and handing out a CV. And this is somebody who had almost been given up hope on quite a few years ago.
Well, yeah, the school that they attend had given up on this group of youngsters and just more or less said, you know, they're not going to succeed. But they've been picked up by some members of staff, and we've been fortunate and very grateful to be part of helping these young people build their confidence and their self-esteem to be able to try and achieve their goals that they want in life.
So being part of that is definitely something we're grateful for.
And also it's pushed us a little bit because we're having to deliver this programme slightly different to how we would have done a couple of years ago, for example. We'd have done it all face to face. But a lot of this has been pre-recorded and then perhaps beaming in live on a webinar into the classroom. We were lucky enough, as Mark just said, to go and see some of the students as well. So it's pushed us to think about things slightly differently, which I think is always a good thing, to be pushed and get outside your comfort zones.
Get outside your comfort zones, definitely. Yeah, delivering a programme on a pre-recorded webinar is definitely something we hadn't done very much before in the past. So learnt some new skills there. That's been fantastic.
Now, the other thing that I just would like to mention, if I can, over the last 12 months is part of the Future Toolbox CIC. We launched the Brain or Shine project, which is something that is so close to our hearts, and that is for anybody that's affected by a brain injury, whether you're the survivor or whether you're the carer or families. We wanted to set up a support program or network for these people, which we've done over just over 12 months now. But honestly, it's gone so well.
This has been, for me personally, actually being able to talk to people that experience the same after effects of brain injury that I am, is really heartening to know that you're not alone with it. But then when I see somebody who's in your position who says, yeah, I'm going through that with my partner and this is what I'm experiencing, knowing what Jules is going through as well, she isn't alone on that. So that program has not only helped a lot of other people by us talking about our experience, but they've helped us by talking about their experience. And we've also met some really, really good friends through it.
We have. One of the things that we hadn't took on board when we first launched it was a private Facebook peer-to-peer support group. That was one of the first things that we did. We hadn't given the idea that people outside of the UK would join this. I don't know why we didn't think that. We should have done, because obviously Facebook is global. So we now connect across the whole of the globe. It blows my mind. It's amazing. We talk to people from America, from Australia, Helsinki, all sorts of places, and they come along to our live webinars. They join us on the Facebook chats. And it's just the most amazing support group. And not only are we able to do that, but because Mark, a couple of years ago, was a winner at the Headway Awards, the solicitors that were sponsoring that award, we've kept in contact with them. They are now sponsoring this project. And this is a huge international solicitors. And we are blown away and really, really grateful that they've recognised the work that Mark and I are doing for people affected by a brain injury. And they do specialise in that. And they're supporting us both with all their knowledge, but also financially, which is just amazing.
Big shout out to Slater and Gordon solicitors there as well.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Fabulous, just so fabulous.
Grateful, gratitude to meet those guys.
Yeah. And yeah, we still have lots of meetings with Headway, and through certain things like the Acquired Brain Injury Forum, we've been introduced to some work that's being done at the university in Coventry, which I'm now part of that whole project with somebody else that we work with via Brain of Shine. It's just incredible and just grateful to be able to give back. I think that's, for me, that's the biggest act of gratitude, is give back to other people.
And you've just talked about loads of really, really big things there. But last week we received an email from a person who attended our webinar who was recommended by somebody else who's been a regular on our webinars. And this person just said, you know what, thank you so much for what you've done. You've just given me hope. And that one line of all of everything that Jules just said there, that one line, you've given me hope, makes you feel so, so grateful, because somebody else gave us hope at some point.
Yeah.
And we've now passed that hope on to somebody else by sharing that. And that just really, really makes your heart sing.
Amazing.
So there's loads and loads of business stuff there. We've talked about the Future Toolbox. We've talked about Brain or Shine. We've talked about some really good collaborations and some little emails. What about personal stuff? What have you been grateful for this year?
Personally, I think there's a number of things. And one of them is I'm grateful every single day for my health.
Yeah.
I really, really am. And because of that, I've been able to learn to play paddle.
Yes.
And when we first got here to Lanzarote, we kept seeing people playing it, and I was desperate to have a go. And I think you were a little bit reluctant because it's a racket sport, and that's not something that you've ever really excelled in or felt comfortable doing. But we started it, and when I go back to our first ever game that we played, we turned up at this club of all these people that were playing, and we had absolutely no idea what we were doing.
I didn't know which end of the racket was which.
No, and I just found this group on Facebook, and I said, come on, we're going. Off we went with our little paddle rackets, and we were truly atrocious, absolutely awful. But we never gave up, and we still go every single Wednesday night. We've made some amazing friends through that, but with some guidance from them and some lessons, we're now at a really comfortably good level of playing paddle.
Really, really love it. And we don't just play once a week now, we play quite a lot. It's quite an addictive sport.
Yes.
But you said a key word, which is friendships. And again, this is really, really powerful, because we turned up to play something that we had no idea what we were doing. We almost walked into a metaphorical room full of people that did know what they were doing. And we felt very much imposter syndrome. We felt very, very humbled because these people were so good and we weren't. And from that, some of the friendships that we've met there have become so strong that we've now had the ability to socialise with people and connect with people outside of the paddle group and share something that we really, really love, but also share life values as well. And those friendships have run so deep in such a short space of time, in just around a year. So that's, to me, is a massive gratitude. And obviously, I know that you echo that one as well. But paddle has been amazing for us. That's led us to some friendships. On the side of that as well, we've also infiltrated the local music community, and lots of people have heard our little progress of playing the drums, playing the guitar and singing as well. And one thing I really enjoyed, we actually had a jam night last night. When I was singing a song, I looked around the room and there was people dancing.
It's amazing.
Now, if you just talked to me 2 years ago, I thought that somebody would be throwing rotten tomatoes at me if I was singing. And we have this mindset that we're rubbish at things. And a lot of people still say over and over again, oh, I'll get kicked out the room if I sing. It's a fear that sometimes we overcome. And actually to see people singing and dancing, and you were at the front playing the drums, and the whole band around us were all joining in as well.
It's just brilliant.
It was just being in that moment. It was absolutely fabulous.
And that's another thing of practicing gratitude. And you just said it's being in that moment, being grateful to have that moment, and not just to have the moment, but to recognise it as a very, very great moment in your life. But some of these are big wins and some of them are small. But the most important thing that I would say to everybody is celebrate your successes, celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small. Your gratitude, it doesn't have to be for some amazing, great big things. It can be for just little things. I'm very grateful that every now and again I'll see a recipe and think, oh, that looks nice. And then within half an hour I've cooked it and it actually tastes nice as well. Amazing. I love it. I still love that. I think we've really enjoyed reflecting on the things that have brought us joy over the last sort of 12 months or so. But how can we tell people how to practice gratitude?
Yeah, because it does sound like it could be something really complicated, but it's not at all. Because gratitude is just recognising something. So we've talked loads about all the things we're grateful for. Just sometimes go back to the moment you were grateful you made a decision. I was grateful I made the decision to start singing and playing the guitar. I was grateful that Jules booked us onto a paddle group and said, let's go along and learn this sport. Because you just never know where that's going to lead you to. So it could be gratitude for a decision, gratitude for an action, or also gratitude from just that one little moment. That email that we received saying you gave me hope, standing on stage, seeing people dancing and singing, and even somebody filming our song that we're singing. It's those little moments of time. Obviously, you can take it a step further and journal as well.
I think that's a really good thing. And I remember going way back to when I was undergoing my treatment for breast cancer. I saw a video on a group and a lady had said that no matter how bad that day had been, before she went to bed each night, she would look back over the day and think, I'm grateful for that. And it might only have been something really, really simple, like I'm grateful that I managed to get dressed today. And it doesn't have to be anything big. But every night before going to bed, writing down 2 or 3 things that has made you feel grateful that day really is the key to practicing gratitude, and gives you that brilliant sleep and makes you wake up in the morning feeling positive.
So gratitude journaling can be really easy. You can do that in a really simple notebook, or it could be a plug time for us.
Well, we've got all sorts of journals.
We've got all sorts of journals. If you go to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, and visit the shop, we have a specific brain injury journal. We also have a bullet journal, and we have just a regular 5-minute daily journal. So there's 3 you can choose from there. You can also read plenty of our books and stories. But there are lots of free resources too. You can go to our Facebook, Instagram or TikTok. We have a YouTube channel, and you can reach out to us on LinkedIn as well, because we're
everywhere.
So this really, really leads us up to the festive period. We want to wish everybody a fabulous Christmas. Obviously, if you're listening to this in the middle of June and it's an old episode, then have a wonderful June. Yep. But we are, at this time, recording this just before Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. And we want to thank everybody for supporting the Future Toolbox, because we are very grateful for that too.
Very grateful. Thank you very much.
So we look forward to catching you in the next episode.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.